Hi, I'm Jeanette. I'm from upstate New York. And I'm currently a student in school in my undergraduate. I'm studying to be an English teacher, actually in Korea currently. I will be leaving, I think, September, August of 2023. But as far as people I've met, like I've used Hello Talk and a bunch of other apps to actually meet people in Kakao Talk. They're so nice. The ones that I've met, the ones that were willing to talk and actually teach me Korean. So I haven't actually gone to Korea yet. Never been yet. As far as Hello Talk, it was a great experience. First, I used it to learn Chinese, and then I kind of transitioned maybe about a month or three into learning Chinese to Korean. And on both sides, like learning each language, everyone was so accepting, so like nice. I have names in both languages, like other people have given me. I have friends I still talk to today, and I started learning all of these languages about, I think right now would be a year I started learning. And I still talk to all of them that I've met so far. Some we kind of like talk for a little while and fall off. Others, like I have a friend named Daniel in English. His English name is Daniel. And we literally talk every single day. Yeah. There's not a day we miss, I believe. And when I go there, I'm either gonna stay with him for a little while, or he's just gonna help me transition like into my own place right off the bat. As far as the app Hello Talk, it's a whole world out there that I didn't know like about before I started actually like trying to dive into the culture, understand everyone, and understand like their perspective, like Asians' perspectives on things. Because growing up, I've seen them be bullied, and then like to actually interact and talk to them, and I realized like that's not right. And I don't know why I was oblivious to it not being right before, but now I know like they're people just like everybody else. And I don't know, maybe I was just an oblivious kid growing up because there's a lot of stuff that I know I ignored that now I just don't put up with. I've like seen pictures, back on topic though, I've seen pictures of food, places. Everyone always recommends me like when I come, go here, here and there. There's a library somewhere, and so I can't even remember the name of it, that everyone's always talking about and telling me to go to. When I was learning Chinese at one point, a lot of people were saying like to go to like Sichuan and try hot pot, and I had like a Sichuan accent when I actually spoke Chinese. They were telling me, they were so nice. Everyone was so nice. Hello Talk is a great app if you want to like meet people and have them talk to you, because they're willing as much as you are. It's harder to meet people in real life and try to language learn like that, but once you start somewhere, it's definitely easier. And like I have a lot of people on Hello Talk that were saying like they have friends that go to school where I'm at, and I ended up meeting them through them. It's so many connections you can make through Hello Talk. It was a beautiful like experience, and I still use it to this day. So I went to an inner city school for a lot of my life, and obviously America, New York, is a lot of like people coming in, a lot of people like moving here, living here. That's not like, it's becoming more diverse, I want to say. And the high school I went to, it was a lot of bullying. It was like in a more urban area, obviously, inner city. And I would see like Asian kids of all the spectrum, like all over Asia. It doesn't matter where you came from, what you look like. They all were getting bullied because they smell different. And it wasn't a smell like stink. It was like, you can tell their parents cooked at home. And I seen them like get like, you know, back when people were younger, they still do it today. I don't know why, but they used to make the Chinese eyes and laugh at people, not Chinese, Asian eyes, like the sharp pointy eyes. And I just was like, I didn't understand it. I didn't know what they were doing. Like I can see that they have almond shaped eyes, but it didn't affect me at the time. But now that I'm older and I'm learning more, and I realize like everyone has feelings. I wasn't the only person that was just going through things like getting bullied and picked on. It was in different challenges. And now that I'm a little older and I can see it from a different perspective, I'm not like trying to be oblivious to things. I see like that's not okay. And if I see someone like doing something like that, I definitely step in every single time, because it's not okay. Treating people differently because of the ethnic foods they have or the way they look is just not okay. Okay, so I don't even remember how I came across that Hello Talk. It was maybe a YouTube, because at first I was using a lot of YouTube to try to figure out like what's the best way to get connected with other people and like language learn. And just kind of like trying to navigate around YouTube to figure out what is everybody else doing, or what is becoming more popular and more natural to use to talk to other people of other languages and start to learn. And I came across Hello Talk, a couple of other websites that's actually just for learning. And when I came across Hello Talk, I signed up. The first thing I did was sign up. I put up a picture and I made a post that said "messagey," which is message in Korean. Actually, I'm skipping a couple steps. I was learning Chinese first, and I put up a message in Chinese saying how I want to talk to someone. And I got a bunch of likes out of nowhere. The TL, you don't need to follow anybody. Nobody needs to really follow you to actually get your post out there. It's like a news feed where everyone can see, and they'll like, and they'll message you if you're scared to make that first step. But you can't always be scared to make that first step, because they're scared as well. They're learning a language as well. And not everybody is at first comfortable when they're learning a new language. They don't want to speak it, or like video call or voice call, excuse me. Or they don't want to mess up too much. So a lot of it is texting at first. And then the more you get to know someone, the more it's like, okay, maybe I'll send a voice message. Maybe they can help me start correcting. And you like kind of push each other in the conversation, like, go for it. It's okay. Like, I'm here to help you, and they're here to help me as well. When I first signed up, I don't remember if I had to put my number in, but I don't think so, because I don't get any messages. Like, you know how some apps you sign up for, they give you messages like saying, oh, we have this or this. I didn't have to put my number in. It was basically like, it reminds me of Facebook, but with a twist. And you can add any language you want. It's a range of languages. Once I got familiar with Hello Talk, I also started talking to more Koreans, and they introduced me to Kakao Talk, which is another messaging app where you put your phone number in, but the other person doesn't get your phone number. You find each other by ID usernames. And that's been a great help as well, because it's easier to contact them if they're out busy in the day and you want to learn and they want to learn. And it's just a quicker way to communicate. It's just like another app like and What's Up or WhatsApp, I think that app is, or just messaging. It's the way of messaging, because in Korea, they have a data rates applying plan per text message, and that's how they communicate through Kakao Talk. So it was another step into the culture that I got a jump start on just because of Hello Talk. And now I know like everyone over there uses Hello Talk, and Hello Talk is a precious thing to give out. It's the same as giving out your phone number. Okay, this story is a little bit longer. So I was in college at another school prior to the one I'm at now. And I was at a point where it was just about to start, and it was like my saving grace because I needed a break from school. But I was at a point in my life where I was in a degree I didn't want to be in. I didn't know what to do. And I kind of was like at a standstill in my life. And then I came home and I started watching TV, and I came across a few Chinese dramas, like Asian or Meteor Garden, and a few others I can't quite name off the top of my head. And I was like, this is so cool. Like, language is so cool. I've always been a person that learned language. Like, I know a little bit of sign language, a little bit of Spanish, a little bit of Korean, a little bit of Chinese. And I've always just been like learning language. So I started learning it, and I was like, I want to go there, but financially and school-wise, I'm not ready to go. Then I was like, well, what's the way that I can go travel and earn money is basically what I did, like was looking for. So I YouTubed it, I Googled it, and I came across a TEFL course, which is a course that certifies you to teach English in any foreign country that doesn't have English as a first language. And I was like, I can travel and get paid. And then, like I said, I was already watching the Chinese dramas at the time. And then I came across Korean dramas, and I came across Filipino dramas and Taiwanese dramas, a lot of Southeast Asian dramas. And I came across a couple of Bangladesh dramas, or just a plethora of dramas. And I just loved everything about it. And I figured, this is what I should do. I love language. I love traveling. I can earn money while doing it. I'm going to teach and go see what I want to see and go be around what I want to be around. Then I started like learning more about the culture as food wise. Like in America, we have so many processed foods, and over there, it just, to me, I don't know if it was like commercialized towards me, but the food just seems so much better, like hot pot and K barbecue. Everything just seems so much more healthier and so much more prettier aesthetically, that I wanted to go there for the food. Then I started learning about the people, and it just kept like snowballing into like, I want to go now, like I have to leave now. And I tried to shorten my story a lot. but that is kind of how it happened. Wanting to travel and earn money at the same time turned into loving another culture I never even thought about before, gave a second look before. Okay, so as for being scared or nervous, what's kind of like in the back of my mind or might hold me back to not go is a lot of people on TikTok that actually live in Korea tell stories about what goes on in Korea. There's rejection, a lot of rejection into clubs and a lot of stores and a lot of restaurants towards foreigners. Not, I wouldn't say just Black people because I don't know, I haven't been there, but the girls I follow on TikTok are mainly Black, so they say they get rejected a lot. Another one is that I don't want to bash the culture because I don't know, it's off hearsay, but the girl said that she was harassed on a train and there was really pretty much nothing she could do about it according to Korean laws. I'm kind of scared if that's true. I'm scared. I'm only learning the language. I'm not fluent. So by the time I go out, hopefully I'll be a little better, but I'm scared about getting lost and needing help and I meet the wrong person. Like there's a bunch of things that I'm scared about. Even here in America, like I went to Chicago and I was scared because I went by myself. Like it's a lot of the same fears that I have when I go up to another state here that I would have over there. I'm really scared about getting scammed. Like you can get scammed here as well, but over there I heard like it's a lot worse because once you get scammed, you report it to the police and pretty much nothing else happens. Like as far as getting an apartment or that's the only couple of things I can think about that I'm kind of scared about, but life is about the risk, so I'm gonna just go for it. One, I'm excited to get away from my family.
Okay.
No, but I'm excited to go eat. I've been like, I tried a couple of things here. We have an authentic K restaurant here. They came from Korea maybe 4 or 5 years ago. I got really friendly with them. I've had some like authentic things, but it's never the same in someone else's country because you don't have all the same ingredients. And of course they could order them, but I'm not sure. So I'm excited to actually try some fresh, like straight from the center of where it came from foods. Like I'm trying tteokbokki, bibimbap, all types of things, because what I've tried here, it's good and it tastes like it might come from here, like it's completely healthy. It had a different taste from American food, but I just can't wait to eat. I can't wait to actually start teaching and meet my students and just impact other people's lives. I can't wait to make friends and sightsee. One of the main things I can't wait to do when I have like a good weekend off from working is to go to Jeju Island. Like I heard they have either a black or a pink sand beach. I'm ready to sightsee. I'm ready to just meet people, interact as well. Like I think that's the biggest part of it. I know the culture over there is kind of, it's hierarchy, so you have to address people more professional than what you do over here. And it's a lot harder to meet people than you would over here, but I'm up for the challenge. You know, once you meet one person, you meet another. I'm definitely excited to see like if one of my, like if I make a friend and they get married, will I see their wedding and see like the whole, like, I feel like a wedding is the most traditional you can get in this new age. So I'm ready to see some traditions in real life besides on TV and kind of indulge and, I don't know, see it firsthand. I know they have a handbook village where everything there is like traditional, but I feel like that's that, but seeing other people do it that don't naturally stay in that area will also be amazing. I'm just all around excited. I'm ready to go. It did not last long because he was maybe a year younger than me, but we were in a relationship. He was actually Chinese. And he came here when he was maybe 8 years old. And when we dated, I was 21 and he was 19 at the time. He was like a year or two younger than me. And it was okay. It was kind of sad at sometimes because he used to talk about how his family, like his nucleus family, his mother and him came and they had to leave behind his grandmother. So I feel like I can't relate to that. Like my family, we came from Jamaica, but everyone I know or everyone like is already here, like my nucleus is here with me. And it felt hard to like relate or try to understand because I didn't. And I think that was the hardest part of our relationship. I don't think there were any obstacles. He was super open to teaching me like anything I wanted to know. I would often hear him and his mom talking over the phone. And like, I would like, at the time I was learning Chinese, of course. And I would like hop in on the conversation. We talked sometimes. So I don't know, there were no real difficulties. When he tried to explain his necklace, it was like a dragon necklace. That was like the only thing I didn't understand because I don't know, we don't have, well, we obviously everyone has religion, but I've never been introduced to that religion, but that still wasn't a difficulty. I understood it was different and it was a barrier we probably could have moved past if we stayed together longer. Okay. But I don't think there are any super big differences. As far as Asia, when I teach in Korea, I want to, this is like a taste. I want to go for maybe up to 5 years. I think if I really like it, that's like my turning point. Like if I like it, I'll stay. If I don't, I want to kind of try to go to China. If I don't like China, I'll probably move to Thailand. I have like a little map in my head if I like places I want to go and try to teach for a year or so after Korea, if I don't like Korea necessarily. So it might turn, my life might turn into the tour of Asia at some point if I don't continue to like Korea. But I'm definitely about going to China to teach for at least a year at one point. I almost forgot to add, I remember a few questions back, you asked me, what did I like about Korea? And I forgot to mention, I can't wait to try the street market food as well as see street dance and the busking. Here we call it busking. I don't know the term for it over there, but where you dance and sing for audience on like a main, I don't know, like a pier like type of situation. Like in Jersey, we have the boardwalk, like something like that. They all dance around there and I just can't wait to see it all. I want to say, first of all, there are bad apples in every tree. Yes. So just to start that off, I also want to start it off with POCs, people of color are people of color. And I believe that the media was trying to spin it where Blacks were attacking Asians. And like I said, there are bad apples in every tree. I know in New York City it was a hot spot, and in California it was a hot spot for a lot of Black on Asian crime. So I'm not gonna justify their actions, but I do believe it's not everyone. Just like in every other race, it's not everyone. So with that being said, I feel like at one point the media was trying to spin it to look like majority, if not 100% of all the attacks on Asians were coming from POCs or Black people, basically African Americans or anybody from African descent. And I didn't know, and I didn't fact check for a long time. It didn't seem right to me because the media always spins it in the worst direction possible. And the more I read up on it and the more I looked at it, majority of the hate crimes were coming from, I'm gonna say Caucasian people, but not all at the same time. Like everybody has a bad apple in their tree. So it is a touchy subject, and I'm gonna say this. I feel like the agenda was to divide POCs and turn us against each other. If we stand together and become a united front, we can overpower them and make it so they stop. I don't know I want to say harassing, but I feel like there's a way better term for it, but they're basically harassing us. And if we stand together and voice our opinion together, it's not Black Lives Matter versus Stop Asian Hate. It's Black Lives Matter and Asian hate against this system that's against us. And I don't have any other way to put it. I believe that there are bad apples in every tree, like I already said a million times. But I believe if we try to stand together, it'll be way better for us. It's more of us to break down the system and restart the system, or abolish the system and create a new system and make that system geared towards everybody equally, because the system currently in place to regulate us isn't obviously working. I also want to add that recently I've noticed, I follow a lot of Asian TikTokers, and one girl always says Asian people do not use their voices. And I feel like if you use your voice, it will help so much more. Not only speak up when your own kind is getting attacked, but speak up when other people's kinds getting attacked. Show that united front as well. I have another point of, I don't know if you noticed or if you've ever really indulged in C-dramas. Those are Korean dramas, or the Chinese dramas. If you watch the historical dramas all the way up to new dramas now, or if you watch American dramas or any Bollywood, every show has a lighter version of a POC in it. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but kids in let's say the Philippines, they are watching lighter skinned Philippines being every day, and they're kind of idealizing the fairer skin. Every culture does it, idealize the fairer skin. So I can see where people are not trying to stand up against non-POCs because the media has tried to conditionalize us or conform us into believing that it's superior skin. I hate to say that. I didn't have a better way to say it. As well as in Chinese culture, I've noticed, in Asian culture, y'all have a mind your own business type of way of going about things. And I love it. Mind your own business. I love it. Until it comes to thyself. And thyself meaning the whole culture as aspect. Asians all have the last name comes first because you're all about, family. You present your whole family. So I believe that's why a lot of the time you don't use your own voice until it comes to you. Does that make sense? So I cannot blame Asian Americans or Asians in general why they don't speak up, but I would love to see that change. Please speak up for anybody that you see treated wrongly. And if you learn to use your voice more, people will notice you. They're going to listen to you at one point or another. If you start now or start later, it's still going to be started, and people are still going to listen to you at some point. And once you learn to use your voice, I believe people are going to listen. Change will occur. And not many people were using their voices until it became brutally violent, till it became their aunt, till it became their mom, till it became their uncle or their dad. I didn't see anybody speaking up until it became one of their own. Okay, so first, where I grew up is in upstate New York. There are not as many Asians as you would think there is. I've only seen on even Facebook, when I had Facebook a few years ago, one AMBW couple in real life, and I actually knew them. And that was it for me. I've never seen it anywhere else. As far as Black women dating white men, with white men, they are very transparent. They are very transparent. You know what you're getting when you date them. Now, with Asian men, I've seen this recently. They are transformers. I didn't realize that for some reason, I don't know, maybe I was oblivious to that too. I've been oblivious a lot in my life, apparently. Not you guys, that's a horrible term. Asians are way different than what they portray in the media. And when a lot of people notice that or see that, they're like, whoa, and they kind of stand back. Because that's exactly what I did at first. Like, I've met some very forward Asian men, and I kind of was like, whoa. But growing up in a PWA, a primarily white area, PWA, I already know. I've been around it my whole life. I know what I'm getting if I go towards this. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Asian men are a new territory, it's a new area. You got to learn to navigate your way around. But with white men, it's transparent. You see it, it's there. You already know what you're getting. I can't even go in step with that. I know a lot of people already know what I'm talking about. Second is the stereotypes. The main stereotype is a Black male is taller, and I'm gonna put it like this so we don't get banned off YouTube. But a Black man is taller than an Asian man in height, and in shoes eyes, if that makes sense to you. So a lot of people want to avoid those stereotypes. And as far as seeing them in real life, like I said, I mentioned I live in upstate New York. There's not a lot of Asians here. It's hard. If they are here, it's during the school year when they're in college. Because I live near Syracuse University, and that's a big school. It's well known. So that's the only time like it's a buzz of Asians here, and it's easier to date someone like that. If you want to date an Asian man if you're in an area like I live, you need to travel to New York City or travel to somewhere where they're all conjugated, like Texas or LA. I've been hearing so much about LA. I've heard that the community there is so big. It's easier to see that kind of racial dating, AMBW dating there than it is here. It's hard, especially because my mother is actually in the community as well. And she's older than me, obviously, and it's harder to see older Asians in my area. It's harder to see younger around my, it's just, I'm in an area where it's not well populated. That's probably why you don't see it in real life a lot. And there's a lot of online relationships that you see more, but that's because they live in a different area. I have Instagram. It's .net with 2 E's, I believe, like its.nettee. It's net.